To begin. So thanks everybody for being here and for old friends and new friends and catching up and haven't seen each other for a long time and all. That is so wonderful. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. And I'm Dr. Kim Harris, and one of the people that gets to assist our wonderful music director, Louise Dobbs. And so I am going to get us started with one of the songs that you hear this a lot around Christmas time, and it is a spiritual from the historic Negro spirituals tradition, and yet this song was also used at times as a secret code song during the time of the Underground Railroad. Sometimes when you hear those songs with numbers in the songs, people would use those songs to indicate how many were going to escape at one time. So, children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? Yes, indeed. So, if you are not on mute, please put yourselves on mute because we can't. You can sing in your Zoom room. You can add all the harmonies and things you want, but we can't all sing together. Don't have the technology for that yet. So thanks so much for being here, everybody. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. Let me get out my little tambourine. I've got my mini tambourine with me today, and I'm lucky enough to get to come to you from Philadelphia, from my mom's house. So here we go. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm going to send thee one by one for a little bitty baby born of the Virgin Mary and born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee two by two for Paul and Silas, one for a little bitty baby born of the Virgin Mary and born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee three by three for the Hebrew children, two for Paul and Silas, one for a little bitty baby born of the Virgin Mary and born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee four by four for the four that stood at the door, three for the Hebrew children, two for Paul and Silas, one for little bitty baby born of the Virgin Mary was born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee five by five for the gospel preachers, four for the four that stood at the door, three for the Hebrew children, two for Paul and Silas, one for little bitty baby born of the Virgin Mary, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee six by six for the six that never got fixed, five for the gospel preachers, four for the four that stood at the door, three for Hebrew children, two for Paul and Silas, and one for the pretty little baby born of the Virgin Mary and born in Bethlehem. Oh, I love the dancing. Yes, indeed. Uh-huh. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm going to send thee seven by seven for the seven that never got to heaven, six for the six that couldn't get fixed, five for the gospel preachers, four for the four that stood at the door, three for Hebrew children, two for Paul and Silas, and one for the little bitty baby born of the Virgin Mary, born in Bethlehem. Children, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee eight by eight for the eight that stood at the gate, seven for the seven that never got to heaven, 6 for the 6 that never got fixed, 5 for the gospel preachers, 4 for the 4 that stood at the door, 3 for the Hebrew children, 2 for Paul and Silas, 1 for the pretty little baby born of the Virgin Mary, and born in Bethlehem. Oh, he was born in Bethlehem. He was born in Bethlehem. All right. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. Yes, indeed. And we are a wonderful, caring interfaith congregation celebrating diversity, singing whenever we get a chance, and working for social justice in all parts of our spiritual life together. So glad to be here. We empower children and youth and encourage lively discussion and cultural sharing. And we are interfaith. So you are welcome if you are one of the Christian denominations and get ready to have a big celebration. And you're also welcome if you're Muslim. You're welcome if you're Jewish. You're welcome if you're Hindu or Buddhist, Wiccan, atheist, some combination or something else all together. You're welcome if you don't care about religion. You're welcome if you love it. You're welcome if you feel like you're more religious than the Pope or haven't been to synagogue since your nephew's bar mitzvah. You are welcome. We extend a special invitation to those who are standing in a need of prayer this morning. And we welcome you if you just woke up, if you are getting your second, third, or fourth cup of coffee, latte sippers, soccer moms, tree huggers. You are welcome if you are gay or transgender. You're welcome if you are non-binary. You're welcome if you're single, married, or divorced. You are welcome if you are in recovery or still addicted. I hope you are getting the message. You are welcome. We are so glad that you are here. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park. And besides singing and getting our energy going for the morning, we also center ourselves each week with a chant from Thich Nhat Hanh. And we'll chant this 3 times together. I have arrived. I am home in the here and in the now. So please take a good stretch and a nice deep breath. And we'll sing this 3 times together. I have arrived. I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived. I am home in the here and in the now. I have arrived. I am home in the here and in the now. Welcome to the church in Ocean Park.
Good morning. I'm Janet Gollery McKithen. I'm the minister here at the church in Ocean Park, and I also welcome you. And I'd like to let you know that if you hear something that you disagree with, that your voice is just as important as who just spoke, because we are interfaith and we are multicultural. You're bound to hear sometimes something that you disagree with. And so that's by intention, to expand our understanding of the world so we can help together to create a more beloved community. So anybody who speaks here is speaking for themselves, and they are a part of the church in Ocean Park as much as you are, but so are you much as they are. I also want to recognize that all of us are on some kind of stolen land in Philadelphia. I'm not sure who that is, but In the church in Ocean Park, we are on the land of the Chumash, Tongva, and the Quiche, and we recognize that it was stolen violently from them and that they are still among us. And so we strive to be a part of the culture of repair. And so we recognize that we are on stolen land. And now we are celebrating this morning, the fourth Sunday in Advent and Christmas, and as well as we are acknowledging the solstice ritual this morning as well. So the first we will have the lighting of the 4 Advent candles, which I'll light while Daria reads the reading.
We have lit 3 candles for hope, for peace, and for joy. Today we light the 4th candle, the candle of love. With this flame, we signify the love of God that surrounds and fills us at all times, but that we recognize in a special way the Christmas story. There is no greater power than love. It is stronger than rulers and empires, stronger than grief or despair, stronger even than death. We strive to open ourselves to love in new ways beginning this season. As these candles are lit, our hope is that our lives are lit with the creative power of our imaginations, that we are filled with the kind of love that cannot be contained, but must be shared. During these last few days of this Advent season, let's prepare our hearts to be transformed to magnify the love within us so that it spreads to our community and our world. O come, Emmanuel.
Now we are so happy because we have invited our friend Love Mondo to sing a song. And Love Mondo is a beautiful member of our church. He's done a lot of tech help for us, and we may not see him every Sunday, but we know you're here, Love Mondo. And I put the lyrics of his song into the chat, so you can check that out while you're at it.
Well, it's wonderful to see everybody. And thank you for the opportunity to come in on the day that you're celebrating love, to have me sing this song, Chocolate Jesus. It's been a long time since I've played, and I just want you to know that, just in case I make a flub here or there. And otherwise, let's get on with the show. Well, I don't go to church on Sunday. Don't get on my knees to pray. Don't mess around with books of the Bible. I got my own special way. See, I know Jesus loved me, maybe just a little bit more. Get down on my knees every Sunday at the Rutherford Leaves candy store. Yeah, it's got to be a chocolate Jesus, good enough for me. Yeah, it's got to be a chocolate Jesus to keep me satisfied. And I don't want no apples ever, don't want no almond joy. See, there's just one thing better, suitable for this boy. Yeah, it's the only thing that can pick me up. It's better than a cup of gold. Yeah, only a chocolate Jesus can satisfy my soul. When the weather gets rough and it's whiskey and the shade, it's best to keep your Savior wrapped in cellophane. He flows like the big money, but that's okay. Pour him over, asking for a nice thing. Yeah. It's got to be a chocolate Jesus, good enough for me. Yeah, got to be a chocolate Jesus, good enough for me. Well, it's just got to be a chocolate Jesus, make me feel so good inside, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's got to be a chocolate Jesus to keep me, yeah. Well, to keep me, yeah. Yeah, to keep me satisfied. I hope that I didn't have that on mute.
Thank you so much, Lavmondo. That's one of my favorite songs. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that.
Oh, the pleasure is mine.
Wonderful. And now we're going to have, we have Kate Blandino and Kaylin are going to share with us a little of a solstice story. So we welcome them to share a solstice story with us. Welcome.
Thank you. So happy to be here. My name's Kat, and this is Callan. Callan is 6, and I think Luca's sort of on the screen in the side if you want to, and Luca is in 5th grade, he's 11. So the book that I would like to share with you today is about winter solstice, what, 2 days away. And this book, I'll read out what this book is about, because it really captures what winter solstice is about. The shortest day captures the magic behind the returning of seasonal light, the yearning for rituals that connect us with the generations that have gone before, and the hope for peace that we carry into the future. And this is a book that we read together with the boys. And some beautiful illustrations. So let's get some screen. And afterwards, Callan is going to share a little craft that we do for winter solstice. So the shortest day came. And the year died. And everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing, dancing to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees. They hung their homes with evergreens. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through all the frosty ages, you can hear them echoing behind us. Listen. All the long echoes sing the same delight, the shortest day as promise wakens in the sleeping land. Carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love their friends and hope for peace. And so do we, here now, this year and every year. Welcome, Yule. The end.
Thank you. And now you have Kaylin is going to share his craft.
Callan, would you like to share your craft with everybody and explain it?
Share it.
Oh dear. So we improvise.
Yes.
And if you would like to come back in, Cal, and join us, we'd like that. Okay. Would you like to explain it, or shall I? No. Okay, I'll explain it. So we create garlands from dried out oranges, which symbolize the sun and the return of the light. And that's a really common thread throughout any belief system is this return of the light and rebirth. So that's one of the things that we do to celebrate the season.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Kat and Callan. And
I've never encountered that before, and that's beautiful.
yeah, thank you so much.
Luca, would you like to say anything?
No.
No,
I have
thank you for
nothing to say.
joining.
And you know, there's a time for community sharing later, so if they change their mind, they can always join them. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, and so today we're celebrating the solstice, and we're also celebrating Christmas. The scripture, the Christian scripture for that is from Luke, saying, "In those days, Mary set out and went with haste to a Judean town in the hill country. She entered the house of Zechariah and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the child in Elizabeth's womb jumped. And Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit and exclaimed with a loud cry, 'Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb. As soon as I heard the sound of your greeting, the child in my womb leaped for joy. And blessed is she who believed that there would be a fulfillment of what was spoken to her by the Lord. He has scattered the proud in the thoughts of their hearts. He has brought down the powerful from their thrones, lifted up the lowly. He has filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich away empty.' And Mary remained with Elizabeth about 3 months and then returned to her home." Some of you have participated in Christmas pageants in the past. We've actually had some of our own, it's a different type here at Church in Ocean Park, but we've had some. We're going to play a video now, just looking at one of those. Louise?
This is the story of a ragtag bunch of church members who set out to perform a Christmas play, and the director who tried his hardest to just keep it all together. The glory of Christmas.
Hi, my name's Joel. I'm the director of our church play, The Glory of Christmas. This is my 12th year.
We're okay. Just the stained glass window.
It's going great. The only thing that we lacked was someone to play the role of Mary up until yesterday, but then I found her, and she's perfect.
I got the role of Mary because I'm 31 weeks pregnant. Yep, 2 kids in college, and then surprise! We're so full of joy.
I can't act, Joel. There's no way I can sell this.
No, not true. Your audition was fantastic.
How can it be me? How can I be highly flavored by God? Did I just say flavored? Why can't I stop talking about food?
She's perfect.
Oh, hey, you're Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Heather. I play Mary, your wife.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you.
Oh?
You played Bunko with my mom. You know, what is Bunko? Nice to meet you.
You must mentally sink into her situation. Yes. Go spend the night in a barn somewhere. The hay will trigger something deep within you.
Sorry.
Yeah, it'll trigger something. Trigger something that don't need a antihistamine. This is good.
I'm the least likely person to play Mary, let alone deliver the Son of God. I'm a middle-aged former soccer mom. And the truth is that this baby disrupted some pretty amazing plans we had for our lives. Things we've been looking forward to for years.
Okay, Mary and Joseph, let's take it back to scene 11. Scene 11, please.
Maybe that's how Mary felt. Maybe people stared unsure of what to tell her. Maybe she doubted. Maybe she doubted, even though God told her not to fear. And then she trusted. She trusted that what God was doing would bring the greatest kind of joy if she would just go, let go of her plans, her questions, and
There we go. Just let the good shepherd carry you.
let the Good Shepherd carry me.
In many pageants, like the one in the video, the Marys are too young or too old, or in many churches, they're too white. Mary was probably not the calm, confident presence that we might associate with the Christmas story. Throughout the Christian writings, the Bible, there are stories about overturning the status quo, when the status quo is causing harm to people. This is a foundational story for the Christian faith, and it is about elevating and honoring those whom society shames or ignores, and about the importance of each one of us. Mary was chosen to give birth to something new. Why Mary? Mary was in an unlikely choice. Her feelings about being pregnant were probably not all joy-filled. She was not ready. She didn't have a Lamaze group. She didn't even have a gift registry. She was not ready. She didn't have support. There are so many couples that are trying to have a baby and they are ready and they're heartbroken because they can't give birth. You may know some couples like that. Why not choose one of them? Mary is an unlikely choice. And here's another point. The way Luke tells it, when Mary learned she was pregnant, she didn't tell her boyfriend Joseph. She didn't tell her parents. She went straight to her cousin Elizabeth's house. Elizabeth was somebody who knew about being shamed and disrespected. In a time when women's job was to be married and have babies, Elizabeth hadn't done any of that. Till finally, when she was a lot older, like almost 100 years old, she was finally pregnant. There were no cell phones, so the only way to speak with someone was to go visit them. So Mary set off from Nazareth to see her cousin Elizabeth, who lived in a little town west of Jerusalem called Ein Karim, which is now a part of the city of Jerusalem. Today, the distance between Nazareth and Jerusalem is about 88 miles. It takes 2 hours to get there by bus. But in Mary's day, there wasn't a bus. There wasn't an Uber. So she walked there. It took most of the day to walk there, but she was determined to visit with Elizabeth. Everything about this story reveals the overturning of society's structures and expectations. Two unlikely candidates through whom God has chosen to transform the world. Women acting on their own without asking any permission, doing something extraordinary. Women ignored, treated as inferior and disrespected in society at large and in biblical narratives. Women are the only ones to speak in this vignette. There are no male voices in this vignette. Mary doesn't share this information with Joseph or her parents. The angel says, "You're pregnant." She takes off to go to Elizabeth's house. As soon as Mary speaks, the baby in Elizabeth's womb leaps for joy, or maybe something that Elizabeth ate, like jalapenos, but some reason the baby leaped in her womb. And then Elizabeth proclaims what Mary has not yet told her, that Mary's pregnant. And check this out. Elizabeth starts pronouncing blessings all over Mary, and she keeps doing it. I think she was saving up blessings because nobody was listening to her. Who is Elizabeth to be pronouncing blessings on someone? Who is she? She's Elizabeth. She's an awesome human being like every one of you. She breaks down the barrier that says only certain people can pronounce blessings, and mostly, men of means. No, we can all pronounce blessings. We can all bless other people. Just in the very act of greeting Mary with honor, Elizabeth was overturning social expectations. Mary was an unarmed, pregnant teenager, and she rightfully might expect social judgment, shame, even ostracism from her community. But Elizabeth knows from her own experience the cost of being shamed and excluded. Elizabeth reverses her social expectations by opening her arms and her home to a relative whom her neighbors would expect her to reject. Instead of shaming Mary, she welcomes her and blesses her and celebrates her and treats her as more honorable even than herself. Thus, the pregnancy that might have brought Mary shame and brings joy and honor instead. When Elizabeth welcomes Mary, she practices the same kind of inclusive love that Jesus will show to all who live on the edges later on. She shows the same kind of inclusive love that we are asked to share as a church. She sees beyond Mary's situation to the reality of God's love at work, especially among those whom society, religious society, and otherwise rejects and excludes. Elizabeth's words and actions invite us to reflect on our own openness to the ways that God chooses to act in our world. What is God doing through unexpected people in our society today? Where is God at work through people whom our neighbors and our fellow church members often exclude and treat as shameful? Who do we treat as shameful? Or who do we exclude? Are we listening to the Spirit's prompting as the bearers of a new beloved community show up at our doorstep? May we, like Elizabeth and Mary, rejoice at the opportunities to overturn harmful and dangerous societal expectations. And may we, like them, give thanks that we are not shamed and respond by welcoming those who others have condemned or treated unfairly, and by working to dismantle systems that condemn people, no matter how others may shame us for doing that. And may we look for bearers of a new beloved community as they come in forms different than we expect. There are bearers of a new beloved community walking around in our communities, and we don't recognize them. The biblical foundational stories are about tearing down barriers to people living full, complete lives. Living the Christian faith is about creating a more just and a more free world. It means working to change how things are now, which means that those who benefit from the way it is will understandably be upset. But this is a foundational story that shows us we do it anyway. And it shows us that sometimes those we expect to understand and walk with us, unfortunately, do not. So we must walk for days to get to our Elizabeth. And walk we must. Whatever it takes to birth a new thing that will transform our world. The world is counting on us. We are blessed. Trust the shepherd, and let's walk. Amen.
Lovely, Janet. Thank you. And now I'd like to sing you one of my favorite Christmas songs. Come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant, O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us It is time now for community sharing. This is a time when you can share any thoughts you have or feelings or reflections. So I see one hand up right now. Claudia Landis, is that you?
That would be Claudia Landis. Sorry about it. I always seem to have a comment, but I have done a lot of thinking about an organization like the Church in Ocean Park, and then involvement in things like Committee for Racial Justice and some of the other things that we're taking on. For me, I could never be involved in a religious organization that wasn't tied to social justice. I just don't know how those can be separated. But the question becomes, how do we do it and not do harm? And to me, the idea of social justice is actually to try to address harm that's happening in our society. But we have to guard against ourselves as doing harm, and to our own members, and maybe even to ourselves. And I guess I look at the civil rights movement a little bit for ideas about that. We had Martin Luther King, and then we've had, other Malcolm X, other groups that had different approaches. But I think they found to be successful, they had to look into themselves and make sure they're nurturing themselves individually and as a community so that they don't actually become what they're guarding against or they're trying to address in the greater society. So I think that our church services, the way they are right now, is one of those mechanisms of addressing that. I also think it's probably a good idea to have a committee for racial justice that's somewhat separate from the actual congregation, like we're doing. And so I guess I'm just saying, I think we've embarked on some really tough stuff. I'm really glad we're doing it as a community, and it's a lot of work, and I think we're doing it. But the word harm, I think, is very interesting.
Thank you, Claudia. I see Kat's hand up.
Hi. I wanted to touch on what Janet shared. I'm a birth doula, and I loved what you were saying about birthing people and how it's sort of expected in society, and it's not always that rosy, cozy picture, but it can be equally, just in a different way. And that I think there's so much work to be done within that care of birthing people, even being inclusive with that word versus women giving birth, and also the maternal mortality rate that we see with Black birthing people, and how unacceptable that is, and how much work we have to do there in all human life being treated in equity. So I was called to share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Kat. Rachel.
Good morning, everyone. My brain's a little foggy. I got my Moderna booster shot yesterday, but I had to raise my hand because Reverend Janet, I really found it deeply moving the way in which you presented the Mary story. I think that story in particular, that part of the Christmas story, is full of hope. and to me, it demonstrates the need, or why we have the need, or we should practice support, no matter how you feel about a particular person's situation, because out of that teenage pregnancy, as you put it, came the birth of Jesus Christ and his message of worldwide peace and love, which unfortunately a lot of folks don't get that message. But again, the Mary story, demonstrates what can happen when somebody who is in quote unquote trouble, teenage pregnancy is not, especially nowadays, is definitely frowned upon, and that the support system behind that, if there is, can lead to some amazing things. And I just wanted to thank you, Reverend Janet, for bringing to light that aspect of that part of the Christmas story.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Is there anybody else? There's nobody's hands up that I can see. Oh, Reverend Joseph, go ahead. And Love Mondo, you're next.
Okay, yes, I just wanted to echo the feeling that the message was very deep. It's not one that I would usually hear as a minister, but I like preaching in this way. I like messages in this way that is unique, that is different, and that presents the biblical story it reframes it and puts it in our own context that we are experiencing now. And I think that gives it much more meaning and much more relevance, much more purpose. So I just wanted to say thanks to Janet for that. A lot of sense that came out of it I hadn't even thought of. And I've been preaching for years. Every year the same story, but I think something new has really come out of it in the sense of the role that women play and how even the very disenfranchised and the otherness of some women or some people, they too can bring blessing on us who feel we are the favored ones, and so the question of Elizabeth blessing Mary, I think that point was very significant. So all in all, I think I've been reading a book here by Deepak Chopra. It is called Why is God Laughing? Why is God laughing? And I think as I read it, as I listened to the message, I said, well, God must be really laughing, because he turns upside down our own vision of what life should be like, and it is completely opposite. And even though it is completely opposite, it makes a lot of sense that we never thought of before. So I think I got humor out of it as well, in that sense. So I say thanks very much to Janet.
Thanks, Reverend Joseph. Linda Bond, I see. Oh, wait, I said Love Mondo would be next. Okay, Love Mondo and then Linda.
Well, I just want to echo what many people have said here. It is true that to bring something which otherwise was always difficult for me to understand and believe, and as fantastical as it is, to bring it into the realm of reality and authenticity is amazing. And I had never really heard that either. And it has gotten me this much closer to feeling the faith that I don't generally always feel. But Also, I was asked to share that the company I work with is called thrivemarket.com. So Louise, if you could also put that in the chat just one more time. And then lastly, just to re-echo what I said earlier, which some of you may not have been present to hear, I wanted to reach out into Zoom land and let you know how much I have felt the love of everybody at this church. It wasn't ever really a truly easy thing for me to accept, because I had always pitted myself away and placed a distance between religion and my own happiness and joy. But I feel very glad and very blessed by the church in Ocean Park to have been received well. And I love you all from the bottom of my heart. I hope that in 2022, I get to join you more on Sundays. So thank you very much. Thank all of you.
Well, we want to see more of you too, Mondo. So it's great to see you today. Linda Bond.
Well, I just want to, there's a lot in my heart, but I was reminded when Janet was talking of Claudette Colvin, and how often Claudette Colvin was 15 and pregnant in Montgomery, Alabama, when she was arrested for refusing to give up her seat to a white woman on a segregated bus 9 months before a more famous incident in which Rosa Parks did the same thing. And because Claudette was 15 and pregnant, she was overlooked. And she's still alive today. She finally had her arrest record expunged. She's 82 years old. And it just brought to me when Janet was talking about, who carries the message and who is recognized, and who is not seen to be worthy of recognition. I just wanted to lift up Claudette Colvin.
Thanks, Linda. Is there anybody else that would like to share that has not shared today? And those of you that we don't see, like your videos are off, if you want to unmute and speak, we have time for one more share. Okay, I don't see any hands. So now I invite our wonderful Dr. Kim Harris to sing.
Thank you. Thank you, Louise. and I want to thank Linda. Definitely, thank you very much. You said that so gently. So all I'm going to say is, she was pregnant, and they said, we can't take this case to court because it's not the right case to take to court. And that's difficult. That's really difficult. But I saw her on TV the other day on, I think, CBS Sunday Morning, and they had, the African-American judge that helped to get her record expunged. And it was so good to see him and to see her, and they cried together and rejoiced. So the song I'm going to do is a part of this revolutionary message. And thanks so much, Reverend Janet, for the message that you gave. And this is one, I did this one a few weeks ago, and I mentioned then, but I think it's worth saying again that there are some people who have heard this message that is in the Gospel of Luke, and they knew that it meant that the world had to be turned upside down. And so the government in power made it illegal to say the words of the Magnificat or to post the words of the Magnificat on your home, because they were considered seditious. And I think they are. So the chorus is there, and I'll go through the verses, and definitely please join me in the chorus that says this. My heart shall sing of the day you bring. Let the fires of your justice burn. Wipe away all tears, for the dawn draws near and the world is about to turn. Okay, yes. Let's sing that again. Here we go. My heart shall sing of the day you bring. Let the fires of your justice burn. Wipe away all tears and the soul draws near, for the world is about to turn. My soul cries out with a joyful shout that the God of my heart is great. And my spirit sings of the wondrous things that you bring to the ones who wait. You fixed your sight on your servant's plight, and my weakness you did not spurn. So from east to west shall my name be blessed, could the world be about to turn. My heart shall sing of the day you bring. Let the fires of your justice burn. Wipe away all tears, for the soul draws near, could the world be about to turn. Now I've got to make these lyrics large enough for me to see. Okay, okay, here we go. Though I am small, my God, my all, you work great things in me. And your mercy will last from the depths of the past to the end of the age to be. Your very name puts the proud to shame, and to those who would for you yearn. You will show your might, put the strong to flight, for the world is about to turn. My heart shall sing of the day you bring. Let the fires of your justice burn. Wipe away all tears, for the dawn draws near and the world is about to turn. From the halls of power to the fortress tower, not a stone will be left on stone. Let the king beware, for your justice tears every tyrant from their throne. The hungry poor will weep no more for the food they can never earn. The table spread, every mouth be fed, for the world is about to turn. My heart shall sing of the day you bring. Let the fires of your justice burn. Wipe away all tears, for the dawn draws near and the world is about to turn. Though the nations rage from age to age, we remember who holds us fast. God's mercy must deliver us from the conqueror's crushing grasp. The saving word that our forebears heard is the promise that holds us bound. Till the spear and rod can be crushed by God, who is turning the world around. My heart shall sing of the day you bring. Let the fires of your justice burn. Wipe away all tears, for the dawn draws near and the world is about to turn. My heart shall sing of the day you bring. Let the fires of your justice burn. Wipe away all tears, for the dawn draws near and the world is about to turn. One more time. My heart shall sing of the day you bring. Let the fires of your justice burn. Wipe away all tears, for the dawn draws near and the world is about to turn.
Wow. Big applause. Beautiful. Never heard that. Okay, I'm going to stop our recording because